my name is Jamie. I live in Saudi Arabia and I have a makeup collection that just keeps getting larger. It didn't today. It probably won't for a while, but in any case, let's talk about it. What I like to do here is I like to talk about indie brands. I like to talk about colorful makeup. I will sometimes do some looks. I'll talk about my collection. I'll talk about what's kind of new in indie world. And if any of that interests you, please feel free to like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. If you are returning, thanks for coming back. I'm so happy to see you all the time. So leave me a comment, all that good stuff. So last month, the month of May, I got what I would characterize as a absolute buttload of new palettes. So here's the thing. I got 3 palettes in the month of April, and I got 17 palettes in the month of May. So I think what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be ranking the new palettes in my collection from April to May. There are some caveats, however, that I will discuss. So I, in total, had 20 new palettes in April and May, and I have only been able to wear 16 of them, predictably so. So there are 4 palettes that I'm going to be skipping over today that are not going to be included in the ranking. I'm actually wearing one today, but as I am filming this, it is June, so I can't rank it. The palette that I'm wearing today is Sage the Day. This is my first time wearing it. I don't know, man. I don't know. The other palettes that are not going to be included in this ranking are actually 5 pans from Playing in Makeup by Yolando. I haven't been able to find a way yet to use this 5-pan palette. It is called Basic. I've also not used this palette Pretty. I don't know how to feel about this one. I don't know. I haven't been able quite yet to use Faith. I do like this one, but it's just different. So like I said, those 4 palettes are not going to be included in the ranking. I'll try to work them in maybe in a short somewhere, so if you want to see me use them, you can find that somewhere. I just uploaded a short for Sage the Day, so if you're interested, I have a short on that. But let's get into the ranking of the last 16 palettes that I bought. Are you ready? Let's get into it. So for number 16, I'm going to put the Playing in Makeup by Yolando Glitter Obsessions 2 palette in 16th place because obviously it's a glitter palette. I can't be expected to like rank it in the same way as a standalone eyeshadow palette. So while I did buy this, I bought an eyeshadow bundle or an eyeshadow mystery box. This was in it, and it's not that I don't like it, it's that obviously this isn't like a dedicated or straight up eyeshadow palette, so I can't really judge it as such. I have not used it more than the once, but I'm sure I'll find an occasion to put glitter on. I'm not worried about that at all. Number 15 is another Playing in Makeup by Yolando palette, and I used this the other day. This is the Jamrock Extreme eyeshadow palette, and while the look I created was okay, just the shadows themselves seemed a little dry and not necessarily hard to blend, but just not a texture or a formula that I really like to use. I feel like the eyeshadow quality in the 5 pans from Playing in Makeup by Yolando is a lot better, and it's almost like no comparison between like what's in here versus what is in those 5 pans. There are also a lot of glitter shades in this, and I'm not really sure I love the shimmer shades in this particularly. It just kind of feels like a basic formula. It's not like it's bad, it's just kind of Morphe-esque in a way, and I feel like other palettes from the brand are a lot better. So, I don't know. It's just not my favorite. For these reasons, I'm going to put it in the place of number 15. Okay, and number 14, this isn't a quality issue like I'm mentioning. This is just a color issue for me. This is the Awesome 5-pan palette from Makeup by Yolando. And Playing in Makeup by Yolanda. And like I said, it's nothing to do with the quality. I do like the shade a lot. I do not like shades like this. And I'm not really a pinky gold person either. Although this is a duochrome, it is really pretty. But it's just like I said, it's a color choice thing for me. And something has to come in the bottom. These are my reasons. Same idea with the next one. This is also from Playing in Makeup by Yolanda. Although I like this a bit better, and this is my reason for it. I really like how dark this purple is. It's kind of a blue leaning, but I get confused when there's like a very red tone in with this, and it seems to me that like these 3 shades are very cool toned. These 2 shades are very warm toned, so I just don't know how to feel about it. That said, this is a really lovely duochrome, although it's a little bit like of an older style duochrome in that it has a black base. I don't always like that, but it is very pretty. The way that I would use these is by using them together to get kind of a more cohesive color story that's going to work better. So do you need to buy both of them? No, but they work to me much better together. As you know, I really, really struggled conceptually with this palette because A, I've waited so long to get it, and B, my expectation was that it was going to be very duochromatic, and that is Lore from Unearthly Cosmetics. This I have placed in number 12. I love the packaging, and I do ultimately love the color story. I think it's really beautiful, but I have said it ad nauseum. This middle shade, Basilisk, is not a duochrome. There is no such thing as a teal to emerald shift, okay? It's all the same tone. So that's just kind of not nice terminology, you know? A couple of these shades in here are duochromes, and I do, again, really like the color story itself. But because I was kind of led to believe by the website to have different expectations of what the eyeshadows were, I'm not happy about that at all. And then also the quality wasn't that good. I mean, you can see in the video how like thin the formula was and how much it wasn't sticking to my eye and it was moving. And I had maybe been filming for like an hour or something like that. And I don't normally have that problem. So overall, that's kind of a disappointing thing. So I have this ranked at number 12. And I'm not happy about it. Trust me. Okay, number 11 is kind of a similar experience to what I had today from ColourPop. And maybe I've just been spoiled lately, but number 11 is the Lavish palette, and I really like these cool tone purples and this shade. Like I mentioned in my video, I have a video on this. This is the shade Connect. I really, really like it, and again, you can kind of shift the tone of it with the shade Online to make it kind of a periwinkle. The shimmers are not good. Not good, my friends. So I did also end up getting the Super Shock little ones that are also included in the collection. There's 3 of them. But I don't believe at this point in time that you should rely on a Super Shock or a separate product in order to make a palette a cohesive, workable palette. These shimmers are so... I just hard panned it. These shimmers are just not that great, and I probably just hard panned what I did because oils for my fingers. So yeah, I'm meh. It is a lot of meh about that. I like the look I did. I like the palette overall, but those shimmers are bad. Those shimmers are dust. Number 10 is from JC Cosmetics. This is a new to me brand. I had never tried it before, and I have the Vintage Rose palette. And a few of you were interested in seeing another look with it. I'm totally down to do that. It is a really beautiful palette, and there are a lot of color choices. I think I'm going to be doing a green look at some point. But the reason I have it ranked in number 10 is not because the quality is bad, but again, I get a little cranky about like weird descriptions for shades when it's actually just like a shimmer and a glitter. You know what I mean? And then big cardinal sin for me in a palette like this, especially a palette this size, is that there isn't a darkest matte. This is the darkest shade in the palette and it has gold flecks in it. No. This is a really beautiful shade, but I mean, that's not enough to save it. You know what I mean? You can't buy a whole palette based on one shade. I do, but don't. Okay, number 9 is a little bit interesting. This is the Playing in Makeup by Yolanda Jamrock No Limitations eyeshadow palette. Now, the mattes in this that I used were quite stunning, and this is a lovely color story. I do not enjoy that there isn't a black in here, but I need to get this out ASAP and start working in like these colors. These look really nice as well. Look at all these like blues too. I'm super interested in continuing to work with this palette. It was really nice, and it was really nice to work with. The mattes, I hate this word, but they were like buttery, really nice to work with. And like I said, there's a huge difference between the quality of this palette versus the Extreme. There's no comparison. This was so much better. Number 8, halfway through. I have to put the Pastel Garden here from Bella Beauté Bar, and it is so pretty, so lovely, but obviously it is not always in and of itself a standalone palette. So I don't think it can, again, be ranked any higher than this because it can't necessarily function by itself or without a few little tricks, in my opinion. I don't like doing an all pastel look, that's just me. I do like using this palette as like a companion palette, and the duochromes are really nice. However, they do not hold up that well on my eye. So again, there's some concessions I'm willing to make for beauty, but also it needs to hold up on my eye. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep working with it and see if there's a way that I can get them to be a little bit sturdier, but for now, I think number 8 is where she lands. I think this is fair for her. I do love her though, she's very pretty. Number 7, Unearthly Not Normal. So again, package, wonderful. This color story, super lit. I really have enjoyed using this palette. I've used it only a couple of times, but when I have used it, it's been very nice. I really like the color story. I really like especially like these two. Oh, it's such a good color story. And I do like the overall quality of this a lot better. Again, it didn't make any false promises to me that it failed to live up to. So for that reason, I am happy to rank it a bit higher at number 7. So yeah, just mad about that Lore palette. I'm real mad about it. So number 6. I think this is a bit generous, but I have this Viseart Fashion Addict palette, and evidently this was not really widely available. It was kind of only in the Middle East, and it's a quite old release. So if you can't find it, it's because it's old and it was only released in the Middle East or something like that. But in any case, this was my first introduction to Viseart as a brand. I'm going to keep saying Viseart, not Viseart, Viseart. I really like the color story. I really like that they were a bit more experimental than what I've seen them do since or past or whatever. And I like these blues. These blues hold up really nice on my eye. They're very foiled. They're very nice to work with. I enjoy it. There's not a ton of different textures or formulas or anything like that. It is still so solid that like I feel comfortable wearing blue to work. You know what I mean? It's hard to wear blue to work, and you can manage to do it with this palette. It's very nice. For my number 5 palette, this may surprise you. It might surprise you, but I'm going to put this Playing in Makeup by Yolanda 5-pan palette. I know, I don't like these usually, like less than 6 shades. I usually don't like it. And also, look at it. It has orange in it, but this is so good. This one is so good. It has a red. I never wear red. This is so grungy and murky and beautiful, and then you pop this duochrome on it. It is lit. I love this palette. It's really good. I am as shocked as you. It's neutral, but it is so impactful. Number 5. Seriously, I really love this palette. It's really good. Number 4, I'm sure it will come as no surprise to you, really, given the color story. I got this in April, I want to say. I don't know. This is the Lethal Cosmetics Evergreen palette, and this has come out a little while ago. It's a huge departure from the quality that they had been doing. This is so much better. For example, the Berlin 89, not a good palette. I threw it away. Yeah, I did. And this I really, really love. It's a very high quality palette, really beautiful color story, lots of duochromes, lots of shifty shadows. It's beautiful. It's very nice to work with. Number 3 is due to the packaging, due to the names of the shades, and due to the fact that it has lots of duochromes and shifty shadows, it is Salem Cosmetics Perfect Happiness in number 3. I love this palette. It is so beautiful. Just look at it and look at those shifty duochromy shades. This palette is so fun. It's beautiful. I can't rank it any higher because it's all blue, but it's nice. It's quite nice. My number 2 palette is probably no surprise, but this is the Muse palette. I got this in April and it is very lovely. I need to get it out more, to be honest. There's so many things. I need to look through all of my collection and look at it again and see what I want to do, because there's moments like these where I'm like, Jamie, get your eyeshadow out and do your eyeshadow like 5 times a day. That would make more sense, because then you get to use something like this all the time. So we know Cosmic Brushes is amazing and we need to wait for the restock, and I am so sorry. It will restock. It is part of their permanent line. Serenity and Muse are both part of their permanent line, so we'll just be patient. I'm sure I'll be telling you at some point when they restock. Keep an eye out for that, and yeah, it's a good palette. You won't be sorry if you buy it. Okay, so number 1 of the last 16/20 palettes, oh my god, that I bought is, it's gotta be Wildflower. This is so unique in my collection. I really don't have anything else like it. I don't have any of these shades otherwise, and I really love how much these shadows shift. You know, I think I have slightly better quality in my collection overall, but I don't have any of these shades. So for that reason, this is my number 1 palette. It's it. That's it. That's it. Woo! Okay. It's been a long month. I've been trying so much makeup, and definitely my opinions may shift in the coming months. I don't know yet, and we'll see. But as you know, I keep track of how much I use each of my palettes, and that kind of factors later. But just as goes the stuff that is relatively new, yeah, yeah, I had a lot of stuff to try this month. It was kind of a lot. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Bye.